A city reduced to rubble, soldiers fighting for every inch, an army frozen in despair. The Battle of Stalingrad wasn't just another battle, it was hell on earth. This is where Hitler's so-called unstoppable war machine was finally broken. But how did an entire German army get trapped and destroyed, and what made this battle one of the deadliest in human history? Let's dive into the brutal truth of Stalingrad. Summer 1942. After the lightning-fast success of Operation Barbarossa, Nazi Germany had pushed deep into the Soviet Union. Their next target? Stalingrad, a major industrial hub on the Volga River. But more than that, Hitler wanted it for one reason: pride. The city was named after Joseph Stalin, and Hitler believed that taking it would be a symbolic death blow to Soviet morale. What he didn't know was that Stalingrad would become Germany's greatest disaster. When the German Sixth Army, led by General Paulus, arrived in Stalingrad, they expected an easy victory. They couldn't have been more wrong. As bombs rained down, Stalingrad became a wasteland of fire and rubble. But instead of surrendering, the Soviet Red Army dug in. They turned every street, every basement, and even every sewer into a killing ground. The Germans called it Rattenkrieg, or Rat War, because the fighting was so close, brutal, and personal. Snipers lurked behind shattered walls. Soviet soldiers hid in the rubble, ambushing unsuspecting Germans. Fights broke out room by room, floor by floor, and even inside staircases. One location, Pavlov's house, was defended by a small group of Soviet soldiers for nearly 2 months, against waves of German attacks. It became a symbol of Soviet resistance, a single building holding back an entire army. In the ruins of Stalingrad, a new kind of warfare emerged: the sniper war. One of the most legendary figures of this battle was Vasily Zaitsev, a Soviet sniper who eliminated over 200 German soldiers, including high-ranking officers. His ability to blend into the rubble made him a ghost-like figure, striking fear into German troops. Desperate to stop him, the Germans sent their own elite sniper, Major Erwin Koenig, to hunt him down. Their cat-and-mouse game became the stuff of legend and even inspired the movie Enemy at the Gates. By November 1942, the Germans had captured most of Stalingrad, but they didn't realize they had walked into a trap. Soviet General Georgy Zhukov launched Operation Uranus, a massive counterattack that struck the weak flanks of the German army, where poorly equipped Romanian and Italian soldiers were stationed. In just a few days, 300,000 German troops were completely surrounded in Stalingrad. The hunters had become the hunted. With temperatures dropping to minus 30 degrees Celsius, the trapped German soldiers began to starve. Supplies ran out, men froze to death in trenches. Some were so desperate that they resorted to eating horses, dogs, and rats. Some even ate sawdust mixed with soup. Desperate to keep his army alive, General Paulus begged Hitler for permission to retreat. But Hitler's response: "Surrender is forbidden. The Sixth Army will fight to the last man." The Germans held out for 2 more months, but by January 1943, they were at their breaking point. They had no food, no ammo, and no hope. On January 31, 1943, General Paulus finally surrendered, disobeying Hitler's orders. 2 days later, the last German forces surrendered. Out of the 300,000 German soldiers trapped in Stalingrad, only 91,000 survived to become prisoners. And here's the shocking part. Of those 91,000, only 5,000 ever saw Germany again. The rest died in brutal Soviet prison camps. The Battle of Stalingrad was a turning point in World War II. After this crushing defeat, Nazi Germany never recovered. It marked the beginning of the Soviet Union's unstoppable march toward Berlin. But at what cost? Over 2 million people, soldiers and civilians, died in just 5 months. Stalingrad became one of the bloodiest battles in history. What do you think? Was this Hitler's greatest mistake? Could the Germans have won if they had retreated earlier? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic war history.